Happy Wednesday. It's time for another video market update. This morning, JP Morgan came out with an estimate that they believe there's a 70% chance that we will have a short-term recession. I don't know what short-term means, but they're predicting a 70% chance, and then we're seeing that probability priced into the market, and that's why the market is doing so poorly. So whether it's a near term, a short term, Deutsche Bank is predicting an outright recession in 2023, and Goldman Sachs says there's a 35% chance in the next 2 years. So whether it's near term or 2 years from now, we can look and say, well, what are ways that I can prepare for that recession, and how can I prepare for it financially? Whether you're a retiree, whether you're fully and actively employed, whether you own a small business, I think there are 5 things that you can do to prepare. So let me go to my list. Number 1, develop an emergency fund or a rainy day fund. And start and try to get at least $1,000 emergency fund. Put that somewhere for that big emergency that would come. The goal is then to develop a 3 to 6 months of your living expenses in some sort of rainy day fund or an emergency fund. Some people think 9 months, some people think 12. It's really personal, but you would really want to start with $1,000. Once you get it, start moving into that 3 to 6 months. Number 2, the word no one wants to hear, to prepare a budget. With inflation going crazy, with gas prices going through the roof, we may not be making big changes yet to our daily lives and how we spend, but certainly our bank account is noticing, because even if we haven't changed anything we're doing, we're spending a lot more money. So just having that budget to know where each dollar is going every single month. Number 3, identify ways to cut back. That may say, well, I don't need 10 streaming services. Maybe I really can get by with 3 or 4. I can just enjoy the ones that I'm using. Cutting back doesn't mean giving up the fun things of life. It may just be shifting money to more important things. It may also be looking to see, where is income coming from. If I'm a retiree and I'm taking money from the stock market and the market's down, that could be fairly catastrophic if we do that too long due to something known as sequence of return risk. If I'm actively employed, there's ways that you can look to determine, is there other areas of income? Is there opportunities to move with inside of my company and try to generate additional income each month? So that would be number 3. Number 4 is to develop a plan to pay down debt. Car loan debt, credit card debt, consumer debt, student loan debt. Figuring it out, because if you owe a lot in debt and a recession comes, it will make the prospect of a recession much scarier if money's going out the door to not cover just the essentials, the necessities, but to service all of this debt that you might have. And then the last one, number 5, is don't panic. Recessions do not have to be catastrophic. They could be mild, right? But when people hear recession, I think we're all still remembering 2008, or maybe that little recession that we had during COVID. From 1980 to 2021, essentially, we'll count that in the report, 75% of the time, of those years from 1980 to 2021, 75% of the time the S&P 500 was positive in that calendar year. So we don't want to panic, we don't want to make big changes, but if you're closing in on retirement, you may need to make adjustments. If you're living in and through retirement and the market fluctuation and turbulence is bothering you, there may be a need for an adjustment. If you're still working and you're 5 to 10 years away and you have a good plan and a good investment plan, don't panic and stay the course. But again, every person is different. Every opportunity is different. Every plan is different. So those are the 5 things. Again, let's go over them. Rainy day emergency fund, preparing a budget, identifying ways to cut back, developing a plan to pay off debt, and 5, don't panic. Whether it's a big recession, a small recession, midterm, long term, if we do those 5 things that may seem fairly basic, it doesn't mean that we will feel pain in a recession, but it may make living through a potential recession maybe that much easier. If you have any questions on this or anything that you're seeing in the market, as always, please let me know. If not, I hope you make it a great week.